Welcome to the AG News Show. I'm your host, Roberto Alvarez-Galloso, and I wanted to talk with you about nothing more and nothing less than the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is an event in football, American football, held every year in the beginning of the year. And it's between the AFC, or American Football Conference, and NFC, and National Football Conference. The champions of either of these conferences go to the Super Bowl to determine who will be the Super Bowl champion, which is this final match, sponsored by the NFL or National Football League. Every year they have an artist or singer that performs in the halftime show, which they have a halftime show, and they have the artist performing. The person who has been chosen is Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny, I personally do not like his music, but I think he should appear in the Super Bowl. We shouldn't be having any censorship because, number one, diversity without diversity of opinion, diversity of music, diversity of artists is dictatorship. And I think Bad Bunny should perform. In fact, he was once in the Super Bowl in 2020. Oh, but Bad Bunny speaks Spanish. He's from another country. I didn't know Puerto Rico was an independent country. Puerto Rico is a territory of the United States, I think. Yeah, yes, it is. It is a territory of the United States. Oh, but we need American artists. We can't have foreigners. Before we talk about the people who came from other countries that are Spanish speaking, let me remind you something. There were some from English speaking countries that performed in the Super Bowl. Super Bowl of 2005, Paul McCartney from England, the Rolling Stones from England, and U2 from Ireland performed in Super Bowl 2005. Super Bowl 2000, Enrique Iglesias from Spain, Phil Collins of England performed, along with Cristina Aguilera, who is U.S. citizen, but of Ecuadorian blood. Super Bowl 2020 was Shakira from Colombia, Bad Bunny from Puerto Rico, and J Balvin from Colombia. Super Bowl, J-Lo is New York, and Puerto Rico, U.S. Super Bowl 2021, Taboo of the Black Eyed Peas from Mexico. Super Bowl 1995, from Cuba, Arturo Sandoval. Super Bowl 2001, Sting from England. Sting from the Police. Sting, Paul McCartney, the Rolling Stones, and U2 may be singing in English, but they're from another country. And Rihanna is from Barbados. And that was the Super Bowl 2023. In the Super Bowl 1992, 1994 was Gloria Estefan in the Miami Sound Machine, Cuba. What is all this thing with Bad Bunny? It's very stupid that certain people have to say, oh, he's a foreigner. He can't perform. I just gave you the list of foreigners from the reference Vibe. And most of them performed in the Super Bowl. They performed in the Super Bowl and no problem. And what is that? The Paul McCartney, Rolling Stones, and YouTube, Pure American. We're going to get to that because, unfortunately, many people have this archaic view of what is an American. For starters, taking into account the fact that the Hispanic population is growing, the Hispanic population has been a part of the United States just like the English and all other people. If it was not for Spain, along with France, the history of the United States would have been different. Oh, English only. Okay. What about the indigenous population who are the true Americans, who have also helped in the history of the United States, even though they have been marginalized in their own land? Yes, they've been marginalized in their own land. And if it wasn't for their codes, if it weren't for their language being used as codes during World War II, the history of the United States would have been different as well. Would have been different. But again, no, and we have to do English only. You want English only? One America? Oh yes, of course. Before we talk about how the United States was first the indigenous population, and then the Latin, the U.S. Spanish population, with the Portuguese, the French, then the English population, who are the so-called Americans, then the African Americans. If we're going to talk about one official language, one official nation, let's remember e pluribus unum, out of many, one. The founding fathers did one in the official language, and Ben Franklin wanted German as an official language, and the Turkey as a national bird. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Imagine if that would have happened. In addition, you want e pluribus unum. An official language is not going to do anything because in an official language, we're going to be insulting each other in the same. We've been doing it even in English, insulting each other for the last, what, decade or so? Come on. If you're going to do e pluribus unum and you want us to forget about Spain and others to forget about Colombia, or Cuba, Argentina, I challenge you. I challenge those who say official English but have the British flag and always have this love of King Charles III. I invite them to cut the umbilical cord with England to form one beautiful nation where everybody is intermarried amongst each other, regardless of race, creed, color, regardless of religion, regardless of political affiliation, regardless of everything. Everyone into one happy family. And also, do you want assimilation? Let's do some assimilation of all of that. Let's quit being so in our behavior. Even that is an expletive. I invite people to also do that because that's part of American culture too. That's part of American culture, what I just did. It is. Come on. Bad Bunny has the same right to perform just like any other artist should be performing. And I'm very that they use the national origins, the ethnicity to deny someone the right to perform. It's the same thing like they did with the indigenous people. Even in the state of Virginia, there was a doctor who was of the European race who married a nurse of the African race. In other words, different races. And they were denied a license in Virginia in the 1950s. And both were born in the United States. Success. There are indigenous people, African Americans, Latins, who couldn't even get success because of the restrictions that happen. This is not a crybaby thing. This is the truth. We have to get over that. We have to get over that. If you don't want to see Bad Bunny, go ahead. You don't have to see the halftime show. Just simply see the Super Bowl. If you don't want to see the Super Bowl, fine, don't see it. We have freedom. Freedom does not mean voting for two parties that are a two-headed hydra monster. The difference between the two and a bunch of no difference, just simply that. Come on. Freedom is also the right to choose what you want to see, choose what you want to do, live your life as you want to live it without interfering with the other people. We have to do that. Otherwise, we just simply forget about America. I, for one, I hope to see the Super Bowl. And I do hope to see the halftime report and halftime show so I could do a little critique. Like I've done in the past. The information about foreigners or non-U.S. citizens, because America is not just the English, it's all the others in all others in the United States. And on top of that, American can also mean Alaska to Tierra de Fuego, like in the song by Violeta Parra of Chile and interpreted beautifully by Vanessa Lively, a Texas-Mexico singer-songwriter. known as Vanessa Gomez Lively. The information on those were foreigners, quote unquote, participating in the Super Bowl was from the magazine Vibe, and the others were taken from Deutsche Welle, Radio Nacional de España, BBC, CBC, Al Jazeera. Yes, sir. While everybody is here looking inwards in their umbilicus and not cutting off the umbilical cord, they're looking outwards. They're looking outwards. And in addition to looking outwards, I also got my reference on American history from the Constitution, Declaration of Independence. They didn't say anything about a certain group or a certain language. It's understood that you have to speak English in order to communicate with others. But please, if you're going to do a united official language and united people, marry amongst each other, accept each other, and cut the umbilical cords with the other countries, especially those who have this English blood. That's all I can say. And please, no more interference with the Super Bowl. And the other reference I got was also from some books of history of the United States that I found in my closet, which I read. Without much, this is Roberto Alvarez-Galloso from the AG News Show. Peace in, peace out, and peace everywhere. Until next time.